D for dog. N for nest. S for sun. Y for yo-yo. F for frog. Z for zebra. A for umbrella. T for tap. S for sun. Z for zebra. O for orange. N for nest. X. Box ends in x. A for umbrella. Q for queen. R for robot. A for apple. Z for zebra. W for whale. O for orange. I for insect. A for apple. G for goat. M for moon. L for log. D for dog. Z for zebra. V for violin. P for pig. X. Box ends in x. J for jug. A fat cat.
Story 1.
A cat. A mat. A rat. A fat cat. A fat cat on a mat. A fat cat sat on a mat. A fat cat and a rat. A fat cat and a rat sat on a mat. A fat cat and a rat and a bat. A fat cat and a rat and a bat sat on a mat. A rat on a bat, on a cat, in a hat, on a mat. Anne and Mel.
Story 1X.
Mel and Anne. A bat and a cap. A tin and a hat. Anne has jam in a tin. Mel has a bat. Anne's tin has a lid on it. Mel has his cap on. Can Mel get Anne's jam? Can Anne get Mel's bat? Mel has Anne's jam. Mel has a bit. Anne has Mel's bat. Anne has a hit. Anne and Mel sit on a log.
Fig. Fig. and big bit bit did had and wig bit did fig jig pig bit did big jig pig pig a wig pig a big a wig jig wig
Tom Cat and Jim Rat.
Story 2X.
dads bag
Jim is a pet rat. Jim Rat is on Kim's lap.
on
A lid and a tap. Jim Rat has a sip.
Jim
Dad taps Tom Cat. Kim is glad.
sad lap
Tom Cat has a nap. Jim Rat has a nap.
nap
Tom Cat will not nip Jim Rat.
rat dad
Kim is glad and Dad is glad. Bug on a rug.
Story 3.
A big bug. A big rug. The bug on the rug. The big bug on the rug. Tug the rug. Sit on the rug. Hug the bug on top of the rug. Hug the big bug on top of the rug. Sit on the rug and hug the big bug. Hug the bug, but not on top of the rug. The bug had a mug of milk. The bug had a mug of milk on top of the rug. The mud hut.
Story 3X.
Dad can dig. Mum can dig. Mum and Dad dig in the mud. Meg can dig. Sam can dig. Meg and Sam can dig a lot of mud. Mum and Dad and Sam and Meg dig up a lot of mud. Dig, dig, dig. A big lot of mud. Mum and Dad lift up the mud. Sam and Meg dump the mud. Is it a mud hut yet? Yes, it is a mud hut. It is a snug mud hut. Dad and Mum and Meg and Sam sit in a snug mud hut. Dot. Dot had a pot of milk. Dot had a hot pot of milk. Dot had a big log. Dot sat on the log. The log is in the fog. Dot sat on the log in the fog. Dot had a dog. Dot had a big dog. The dog is in the fog. Dot and the dog had a lot of fun in the fog. Ants at the camp.
Story 4X.
Lynn is at the camp. Lynn is 7. Max is at the camp. Max is 6. Max and Lynn swim in the pond. It is cold. A rug. Lynn and Max sit on the rug at the pond. Lynn has egg on a bun. Max has ham on a bun. But 6 big ants get on Max's bun. Lynn gets the ants off Max's bun. Max gets 10 gum nuts. Lynn gets a frog from the pond. The frog hops on the gum nuts. The frog gets hot. Lynn lets the frog get back in the cold pond. The pet hen.
Story 5.
The hen was a pet. The hen went to the dam. The hen was at the dam. The pet hen got wet. A vet had to get the hen. The vet went to get a net. The vet had to get the hen in the net. The pet hen was in the net. The pet hen did not sit in the net. The vet had to let the net get wet. The pet hen got the vet wet. The hen was wet. The net was wet. The vet was wet. The big mess.
Story 5X.
The pig fell in the mud. The pig was stuck in the mud. Liz went to get the pig from the mud. Nick went to help Liz. Liz was big. Nick was not big. But Liz fell in the mud. Liz was stuck. Liz sent Nick to get help. Nick got Ted to help. Ted went to help Liz and the pig. But Ted fell in the mud. Ted was stuck. Nick went to get Sam to help. Sam went to help Ted and Liz and the pig to get up from the mud. But Sam fell in the mud. Sam was stuck. Next, Nick went to get Meg. Meg went to help Sam and Ted and Liz and the pig to get up from the mud. But Meg fell in the mud. Meg was stuck. Nick went to get Mum and Dad and Rex and Jan. Nick and Mum and Dad and Rex and Jan got Meg and Sam and Ted and Liz and the pig from the mud. It was a big mess. I have a pet fox. I let him sit up on a box. It is fun on the box. But the fox cannot get off the box. The fox will have to get off the box. I have to get the fox off the box. I can get the fox off the box. Fox and I have fun. I have a big lid. Fox and I jump on the lid. Fox and I have fun on the lid in the sun. But it gets hot in the sun. Fox and I have to get off the lid. Fox and I have a den. Fox is in the den. I am in the den. Buff was sick. I was sad. Buff did not run. Buff did not jump. Buff was still. I got Buff on the bed. I sat with Buff. I held him. Buff was not well. Buff felt hot. I had to get the vet. I got the vet. I told him to fix Buff. The vet had pills for Buff. Buff had to have 10 big pills. Buff had the pills in his milk. The vet told Buff to sit still. Buff was not to run and jump. I sat on the bed. I kept a hand on his back. I got the next pill for Buff. Buff had the pill in his milk. Buff got well. I felt glad. Buff is the best pal I have. I can run.
Story 7.
I can run. I can hop. I can jump too. I can hop big hops. I can hop lots of big hops. I have fun with the dog in the sun. I can jump big jumps too. I can jump lots of big jumps. I have fun with the dog. I can run too. I can sit. I can yell too. I have a big yell. I can swim with the dog. I get wet. The dog gets wet too. I can run up the hill. If I hop and jump, I get hot. If I yell, I get hot. I have to swim to get cold. I run with the dog. I hop with the dog. I jump with the dog too. The Land of Zond.
Story 7X.
The Land of Zond. In the land of Zond is a band of goblins. The band is led by Zack. Zack has a big ox, Red Ned. Zack's band tramps across the land. Zack and his goblins grab gold and run. But in the hills of Zond is the big elf, Bold Bob. Bold Bob has the help of Miss Grunt. Miss Grunt is a big pig. Bold Bob has a net of silk. With his net, Bold Bob can trap Zack and his goblins. Bold Bob lets Miss Grunt have the net. Miss Grunt runs with the net to Zack's den. Zack runs to stop Miss Grunt. His goblins run with him. Red Ned runs too. But Zack gets stuck in the net. The goblins and Red Ned get stuck too. Bold Bob and Miss Grunt get the gold back. Zack and Red Ned have to sit with Bold Bob and Miss Grunt. The goblins have to stand next to Zack. I will not rob gold, Zack tells Bold Bob. And Miss Grunt tells the goblins off too. Jet is 6. Jim is 10. Pat is Jet's mum. Tom is Jim's dad. Let us go on a picnic, said Tom. Yes, said Pat. Yes, let's have a picnic, said Jet and Jim. I will have a swim in the pond, said Jet. And I will go for a run, said Jim. The sun got hot. Pat was hot. Tom was hot. Jet and Jim got hot too. It was just as hot for Jet and Jim as it was for Tom and Pat. I will go for a swim too, said Jim. Tom and Pat went for a swim too. It was fun. The picnic was fun, said Tom to Pat. It was fun for us too, said Jet to Jim. The bus stop.
Story 8X.
Helmet was 10. Helmet had a drum. Tonk, tonk went the drum. Helmet ran on lots of tracks, but did not get lost. The old red bus went up the hill. Honk, honk went the bus. The bus was lost. It had to stop for help. It had lost its bus stop. On the bus was Deb the duck. Help, said Deb. Quack, quack. I have a nest at the bus stop. I must get back to it. Helmet ran up a track to the top of the hill. Quack, quack, said Deb. Helmet, help us. The bus has lost its stop. I have a nest at the bus stop. I have 6 eggs in the nest. I am upset. Yes, said Helmet. I can help. Helmet got on the bus. Quick, bus, go, said Helmet. Go to the second track on the left. The bus stop is next to the big rock. The red bus went to the bus stop at the big rock. Honk, honk, went the red bus. Quack, quack, said Deb. Tonk, tonk, went Helmet's drum. I am glad to get back to the nest, said Deb the duck. And I was glad to help, said Helmet. My pup.
Story 9.
I have a pup. His name is Yap. My name is Emma. I like my pup. I like to play with my pup. Yap likes to jump. Yap is on the roof. Yap cannot get off the roof. I cannot get my pup off the roof. I get my dad to get Yap from the roof. Dad soon gets Yap from the roof. Yap sits in my room. But Yap is hot. Yap is not cool. I am hot too. I am not cool. I have a pool. I go for a swim in it. Yap and I like to play in my pool. I like to play with Yap in the pool. I am cool and Yap is cool. The Billabong.
Story 9X.
On the bank of the Billabong stands a big old gum tree. Nat the gull is in the old gum tree. Nat has a nest at the top of the tree. In the nest is an egg. Nat the gull sits on the egg in the nest. The hot sun cannot get on Nat and her egg. Nat is glad to have the cool gum tree to nest in. On the bank of the Billabong, just next to the old gum tree, sits Flip the frog. Flip swims in the Billabong, but if the sun gets too hot, Flip sits in the old gum tree. Flip and Nat like to have the cool gum tree to sit in. A wombat digs on the bank of the Billabong. The wombat's name is Tess. But if it gets too hot to dig in the sun, Tess will go to the big gum tree. Tess has a tunnel at the tree. Tess likes to have the tunnel next to the cool gum tree. On the bank of the Billabong sits a possum. His name is Tran. If the wind gets too hot, Tran gets cross. If it is too hot, Tran gets up to the top of the tree. Tess and Tran like to have the cool gum tree. Nat the gull, Flip the frog, Tess the wombat, and Tran the possum are glad to have the big old gum tree. John and his fox.
Story 10.
A man had a tent. His name was John. John had a pet fox. The fox had a den. John had a very big cup of milk. The fox soon got the cup of milk. The fox had the milk and went to his den to play. A cup sat on a rock in the den. The fox had a very big sip of milk. The cup fell off the wet rock. The fox soon got the cup back. John had a very soft rag doll. He had a pot of red jam too. The rag doll had a very big lick of jam. John and the fox like jam too. A bit of jam got on John's leg. The fox smelt the jam. He had a lick of jam from John's leg. John had a very big tent. The fox went with John to the tent. John and the fox and the rag doll had the milk and the jam in the very big tent. Cat and Kitten.
Story 10x.
Viv and Kevin had a kitten. His name was Trot. Trot was just 6 weeks old. Kevin and Viv had a very big cat too. The cat's name was Mole. Mole was 10. Mole did not like Trot. Mole slept on a blanket in a very old box. Mole did not like Trot in the box. "But I like to jump into Mole's box," said Trot. Trot sat on top of Mole. Mole was very cross. "Hiss, spit," said Mole. "Get off, Trot, get off." But Trot did not get off. Mole bit Trot. Trot ran to Viv. Kevin ran into the room. "Trot must not jump on Mole," said Kevin to Trot. "It is bad to get in Mole's box." "It is bad to spit at Trot," said Viv to Mole. "Trot is just 6 weeks old." Trot and Mole ran from the room. "Will Mole get to like Trot?" said Kevin to Viv. Kevin felt bad. "Not just yet," said Viv. Viv felt bad too. "Let us get a box for Trot too," said Viv. "I will get a blanket for the box," said Kevin. Trot slept in a box next to Mole's box. Mole did not hiss and spit. Trot did not jump on Mole. Kevin and Viv felt very glad.
Hello? No. Just seeing what this does. This small cat had an evil look in his eye. What trouble can I get up to? I'm only just 6 weeks old. The small cat's owner had an older cat too. She was sophisticated and sullen and set in her ways. She felt superior to small cat. We'll call her Smug. Smug had a favorite spot and she was very territorial and Small didn't get it. I'm going to take over Smug's box and I ain't going to move for no one. Smug didn't have a lot of teeth. I don't know where she got off thinking she was any better than a kid when it came to her bite. They went full Jaws mode. Not a single plant was spared. The cat owners scolded the cats, not realizing they were the problem for not supplying ample sleeping arrangements. Larissa frowned as the cats were just doing their own thing and wondered why her life was like this. I don't know. Eventually Larissa and Carl decided to divorce. Who gets the cats? Larissa asked the room. Carl looked away disgusted. Larissa decided to move out and Carl rejoiced, realizing it meant that her horrible red and yellow checkered clothes would be leaving. Carl looked on at the cats as they all tried to enter Larissa's disembodied head as it floated in the background. Avenge me.